peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Dear God, thank you for waking us up this morning on Easter Sunday. Thank you for bringing Jesus back and giving us a purpose and hope. I pray that this Kids Kingdom service is pleasing to you and that we learn something today. Amen.
The Philistines, an enemy of the people of Israel, drew up their troops for battle and set up camp on a hill. King Saul and the Israelites came together and camped on a hill on the other side of a valley from the Philistines to prepare to fight the enemy forces. Goliath, one of the Philistine soldiers who was a giant at nearly 10 feet tall, stepped out into the open. Covered in hundreds of pounds of bronze armor and carrying a spear the size of a fence rail, he called out to the Israelite troops, "Why bother using your whole army? Pick your best fighter to battle me. If he kills me, the Philistines will all become your slaves. But if I kill him, you'll all be our slaves and serve us." When Saul and his troops heard the Goliath's challenge, they became terrified and lost all hope. Away from the battlefield, Jesse and his youngest son David were home in Bethlehem. Jesse was too old and David was too young to join Saul's army, but Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed the king to war. One day, Jesse told David to take food to his brothers in the camp. Jesse said, "Check in on your brothers to see whether they are getting along all right, and let me know how they're doing." David got up early the next morning and started off toward the battlefield to bring his brothers the food. He arrived at the camp just as the army was moving into battle formation, shouting their war cry. David ran to find his brothers within the army's ranks. While they were talking together, Goliath stepped out and gave the same challenge he had issued before. As the Israelite soldiers fled in fear, David asked what the man who killed Goliath would receive. They said, "The king will give the man who kills the giant riches, his daughter as a bride, and freedom for his whole family." Eliab, his oldest brother, heard David speaking with the men and got mad. "What are you doing here? Why aren't you minding your sheep?" David replied, "What's wrong? All I did was ask a question." King Saul called for David. "Master," said David, "don't give up hope. I'm ready to go and fight this Philistine." Saul answered David, "You can't fight Goliath. You're too young and inexperienced, and he's been fighting since before you were born." David replied, "I've been a shepherd, tending sheep for my father. Whenever a lion or bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I'd go after it, knock it down, and rescue the lamb. If it turned on me, I'd grab it by the throat, wring its neck, and kill it. Lion or bear, it made no difference. I killed it. And I'll do the same to this Philistine pig who is taunting the troops of God. God, who delivered me from the teeth of the lion and the claws of the bear, will deliver me from this Philistine." Saul said, "Go, and God help you." Then Saul outfitted David in his own battle armor. Saul put his bronze helmet on David's head and belted his sword on him over the armor. David tried to walk, but he could hardly take a single step. David told Saul, "I can't even move with all this stuff on me. I'm not used to this." And he took it all off. Then David took his shepherd's staff, selected 5 smooth stones from the brook, and put them in the pocket of his shepherd's pack. He grabbed his sling and headed out to face Goliath. Goliath looked down at David and laughed as he said, "Am I a dog that you come after me with a stick?" David answered, "You come at me with sword, spear, and battle axe. I come at you in the name of God, the God of Israel's troops, whom you curse and mock. This very day, God is handing you over to me. Everyone gathered here will learn that God doesn't save by means of sword or spear. The battle belongs to God, and He's handing you to us on a platter." David's words angered Goliath, and he rose and moved toward David. David ran toward Goliath, reached into his pocket for a stone, slung it, and hit Goliath hard in the forehead. David's stone hit Goliath so hard it became embedded in his head and killed him. Goliath fell face down in the dirt. Then David ran up, stood over him, pulled the giant's sword from its sheath, and finished the job by cutting off Goliath's head. When the Philistines saw that their great champion was dead, they scattered, running for their lives. David was brought before King Saul. The king asked David, "Whose son are you?" David replied, "I am the son of Jesse, who lives in Bethlehem."
Good morning! Thanks for joining us a second time, you guys. I'm so glad that you're here because today we're going to watch a video about David and Goliath. Now, David is not just your average hero, but like a lot of heroes, he's considered a soldier. And something that soldiers have a lot of times is a shield. So today we're going to make our very own shield, and you can do this with things you have at home. So I'm going to be using a piece of cardboard. But if you have cardboard at home, that's fantastic. And if you don't, you can use an egg carton or a plastic container or anything recyclable that you have around the house. So if you want, you can pause right now and go look for it. I'll wait. Hey, you found something. That's fantastic. So now that you have your cardboard or your recycled product, We're gonna need a marker, just like last week, some scissors, so make sure you get some help with this one, and some aluminum foil. It's gonna be a good time. So the first thing we're gonna do with our shield is decide what shape to make. So it can be a square or a circle or something really fancy like a pentagon, but I'm gonna stick with a circle. So I'm gonna use my marker and I'm gonna draw as big of a circle as I can draw on my cardboard, all the way around. Almost perfect. It's really hard to draw a perfect circle, don't worry. And now all we have to do is cut it out. Don't forget to get help with this one. We want to be really safe with scissors. Like that. It's a nice, good circle. Okay, now, something we know about shields that I hope that you know is that usually they're shiny. So we're gonna cover our whole shield in aluminum foil. So you can pull out a sheet as big as you think you need. More is better than less. And we're gonna rip it right off. And just like a Christmas present, you're gonna put your shield inside the tin foil, and we're going to wrap it up and cover it all around. And now I have one shiny side of my shield. Now, if you're like any other soldier I've ever seen, or even a superhero, there's usually something on your shield. So I'm gonna draw a design on mine and you draw a design on yours, and then we'll show each other at the end. Ta-da! I have a shield. It looks pretty cool, right? I drew a cross on mine. What'd you draw on yours? Hey, that looks great. I hope that you go show someone how to defend yourself with your shield.
Let's play a game. Today we're playing Spot the Difference. Take some time and look at both pictures. If you look really closely, there are some differences. Can you spot what's different between the pictures? Let's see. You've got 1 minute to find all the differences. You can do it. Have you checked the clouds? How about the birds? Time's up. Let's see if we can spot the difference. Yay! Good job! See you next time!
Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but
am the light of the world. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life, the light of life, the light of life, the light of life. John 8:1, John 8:1-2, John 8:12. John 8:1, John 8:1-2, John 8:12. The light of life, the light of life, the light of life, the light of life. John 8:1, John 8:1-2, John 8:12. John 8:1, John 8:1-2, John
Jesus lived in a town on the shores of a big lake called the Sea of Galilee. It was a fishing village. One day, as Jesus was walking down the shore of the lake, he saw two men in a boat. Like many of the village, these were fishermen. They were tossing their nets into the water for a catch of fish. Their names were Simon and Andrew. "Come, follow me," Jesus called out to the men. "I will make you fishers of men." Would they come? Would they really leave their nets, their boat, and maybe the fish they just caught? Didn't they have jobs, goals, dreams? But without even hesitating, Simon and Andrew got up, left their nets and jobs behind, and followed Jesus. Then Jesus, Andrew, and Simon, also called Peter, continued walking along the shoreline. There in the distance, they saw three men in a boat, fixing their fishing nets. These men were James, his brother John, and their father Zebedee. When Jesus called them, they responded. Immediately, John and James dropped their fishing nets, jumped out of the boat, and left their father Zebedee. Jesus' call was profound, and though they had never met him, God's power enabled them to respond to his call. These ordinary fishermen were embarking on a journey that would change their lives forever. Jesus could have called any person of stature or leadership, but instead he called lowly fishermen. He knew that God's power would be greatly displayed in these ordinary men. In a few years, they would become the messengers to spread the gospel to all the nations of the world. A great task indeed. In the end, Jesus chose 12 disciples. These men would be scholars, learning from Jesus for the next 3 years. He would teach them about God, obedience, and love. He would explain to them why his coming was so important. Their sole aim would be to proclaim Jesus as the Messiah, him crucified and resurrected. The names of the 12 disciples were Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, Thaddeus, Simon, and Judas.
Hey kids, happy Sunday. I'm back, so let's get to it. I want to start with some stretching. So let us stretch, okay? So put your hands out, bring your left hand all the way to the right and your right hand behind it and just push or pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, do the other arm. Straight, right, left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, now let's do your neck. All right, let's go to the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're doing a circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. The other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Let us stretch our legs. All right. So bring your right leg up and begin to balance yourself. Hold out to something. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, let's take this break. I learned something from Mr. Jamie. I like how he pauses in the middle just to review. So let us review. What do we learn today? In the Old Testament, we learned how God rescued the Israelites from Pharaoh, right? He used Moses and his brother Aaron to do amazing miracles, and one of them was crossing the Red Sea. So what happened when they crossed the Red Sea? The water opened, right? And that is just an amazing miracle that God did. And all the Israelites crossed and they were safe from Pharaoh, right? And I like to imagine that maybe some of the Israelites, when they were crossing the Red Sea, you know, they look left, they look right, and they saw huge walls of water. I like to think that some of them started running to the shore, right? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run, and we're gonna run for 20 seconds. All right, so let's count down. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Let's also, so when they reached the shore, they were overjoyed, right? And some of them even sang songs. And some of them even probably clap, right? So we're gonna do some jumping jacks and clap at the top. We're gonna do 10 of them. Ready? Set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right. So what do we learn in New Testament? Okay, we learned that Jesus chose the 12 disciples, right? And they were unschooled, ordinary men. They didn't have status. They didn't have a career. They were just fishermen, some of them, right? And they became very, very powerful. They changed the whole world. And Jesus looked at their heart and their willingness, right? And that was the lesson for today. Hope I'm out of breath. It's been a while. But hope you guys have a great Sunday. Bye-bye now.